TV, great to have you with us for a Thursday night and always a special time of the week. We're out and about, and tonight we're headed out to the Casey Cavaliers. New stadium, growing program, lots of kids and some homegrown talent coming through their program, of course. They're men playing in state champ, they're women up to Division 1, Youth League men won a title last season. It's all happening, plenty on the go at Casey. Let's head out and catch up with the Cavs.
I think there's been a plan for City of Casey for probably about 10 years, I'd say. But I don't know whether us as an association were really driving it till probably 5 years ago, when we were overflowing in certain areas. And I mean, our junior program was just bursting at the seams. We used a lot of external venues at that point. At that point, we weren't running our own programs. It was run by a third party. We worked with City of Casey to be able to take that back, and probably just on 5 years now, we've been running our own programs on a regular basis all the way through the City of Casey. We have 10 courts externally that we use on a Saturday, as well as these 10 courts. But not just that, obviously our midweek programs and that too. So I think that was, when we took over 5 years ago, that was we were hell-bent on making sure that we're going to have more facilities here, and that was where City of Casey really ramped up, I suppose, and came to the party and said, okay, they already had studies in place to say that the area needed it, but now I suppose they had a really functioning association that could really power forward. Well, the Netball Association in Casey is quite large too, so but probably the three of us were the ones that were pushing it forward. At that point, YMCA was probably 5 years ago, was put forward as the stadium manager. But I suppose the planning of what was required was probably more so City of Casey. They were just the manager of the facility, but our growth was definitely a driver to be able to, we'd have to report regularly on those sorts of things of what our growth was.
We've probably had a little bit of a focus. We brought in Carl Lowe from Frankston into our 18s program a couple of years ago, and he's been excellent with that group, with the juniors, being able to build them up. He's now taken over as the Youth League head coach. But it was not just a focus on the 18s and 20s, it's gone right down all the way through the 12s. We want to be able to build it from the bottom up, and it's important that we have that at every level. We can't just have it start building strength in the older age groups. It needs to be strong from the start, so we can build the whole program up to getting teams that are in VC consistently every year. Probably if you go back 5 or 6 years, it would be occasional that we would get a team in VC. Now we're consistently getting teams in VC. It's not all of them yet, but we're heading in that direction. And the gap between, say, our first, seconds and thirds team is closing in as well. So it's not just one really strong team and then it drops dramatically. It's all being grown together. I guess you could say 5 or 6 years ago, we would find those gems, and then as they progress through the ranks, they would start to leave to go to other associations that might have been considered better. But nowadays we're retaining those players. It's very rare now that we have a player who's at that state level that's decided to leave because they don't think that they're at a place where they can grow even more. We have a strong family culture, I feel, across the entire association. So that's not just at a representative level, it's at a domestic level too. And we're very actively involved in the local community. So whether it's family days at Casey Fields or at the local shopping centre, we've always got a presence there. So we send out our players, Tanali, Raheem, all of our marquee guys. They go out, they're actively involved handing out brochures, a lot of free opportunities to come down, especially we've had a focus over the past couple of years with girls basketball. So we're running a girls rule program, so we run that every term for 3 weeks. So girls that don't play basketball can come down and play for free. We've now expanded that to have another program that's for boys and girls. So everyone who's in the Casey community can have an opportunity to play basketball for free, to try it out, and if they enjoy it, then we invite them in to come and have a go. We've taken a massive step forward in the planning of some inclusive programs. So we've already got the funding for some wheelchairs. We've got our wheelchair basketball program starting soon. We're building towards what we're calling the community development program. So that's the first we've really talked about it. That's going to be actively involved with low socioeconomic families. Being based in Cranbourne East, the direct Cranbourne area does have a low socioeconomic area. And we want to make sure those athletes, we can identify their talent and help increase that, and create funding opportunities for them as well.
that was pretty scary because that was the first day it had ever opened to the public. We had never been in it before, so it was pretty scary that we wanted to make sure, at the end of the day it was our brand that was on show, and we wanted to make sure that everything ran well and things like that, and I think it was really successful. We had lots of staff on the day, and you were there too, and I think it was really hectic, but I think it was a really successful day. It was a great opener for basketball here, and we could probably really see what we were going to look forward to for that rest of the season.
Yeah, it's really important to us. Into 2018, we've launched what we're calling the Club Partnership Program. So that's going to build our rapport from our senior level all the way to our domestic level. And that's getting all of our big V guys out to local training sessions and things like that, because we want to have the best senior level basketball, and we can't have that without having the best under-8s basketball. It needs to go the whole way through, and that's a step forward in that. And building that family culture again, it's our goal to make sure that every child in the Casey community can come watch at least one big V game for free. So that's all the way age through to being a child, and then we're going to get some adults in. So we're about building the crowd in 2018 and build the hype. Overall, it's been a lot of hard work by a lot of people. We've had to get better players in to start with, so we can start building a winning culture. But then getting those players to give back at a junior level to increase their ability. And as they've gotten better, it's transitioned into our youth league team. So we've won our first youth league championship. And then over time, those players are going to transition into our state championship men's team, hopefully. Because we've got an older group, as everyone may know. And that group will slowly, over time, they'll probably start to retire. And we want to be able to promote within into that squad.
It's really great. I mean, I think this year is going to be even better. We went in last year in June, which was the opener for the All-Star game, but I think moving forward we're going to have a lot more branding, so it'll feel more like a real home court, whereas we only came in halfway through the season, so there wasn't a lot of time to prepare that, whereas I think this season it's going to feel more like a real Casey Cavs game, whereas I think last year was a little bit more clinical and a bit more sterile, but that's only because we didn't have an opportunity for the remainder of the season. But yeah, I think you're definitely going to see a different atmosphere this year. I think what's exciting for us is this is only one facility. I think we're definitely looking at expanding even further. We are already at capacity on every program that we run here, and we share this facility with netball, so it is a shared facility. It's not just ours where we have it 24/7. So I think moving forward, another hub, another fairly, maybe not 10 courts, but something fairly sizable in the area would be really suitable, and that's what we're sort of pushing towards, because we need to be able to house the growth. The growth in this area is crazy. Like, they're looking at 60,000 families in the next 5 to 10 years, and I think about they're all young families, so we're going to have a lot of growth from now till the next 15 years. So we have to be ready for that.
Well, great snapshot into the Casey Cavaliers. They are certainly a program on the rise. Lots of success in the last few years, but certainly more success heading their way in the next few years, you would think. Now, coming up tomorrow night, we're back at the desk. We're looking forward to round 10, believe it or not. All the big games, all the tips, plenty to talk about. We'll catch up with you then on Big VTV, 5:30 tomorrow night. See you then.